coming days? Pastor Ezeliche.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have followed the sequence of both the NMA and the trial dates, and it's very worrisome. It's worrisome in the sense that I know that it was on the 26th of September that the court ordered the NMA to conduct examination and tests to determine Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's fitness for trial, and reiterated that same order around the 5th of October or thereabouts. The NMA letter that was sent to court was dated 18th of September, which is earlier than the date the court gave the order. Apparently, on that 18th of September, the NMA had met with the DSS and issued whatever orders they did. So, in essence, the court order for NMA to examine Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not been complied with, because the letter the NMA is purporting was took place before the court order was issued. And what is more worrisome is this: from the very onset of this trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, his defense attorneys have always asked for time to sit down and converse with their client, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and this has never been granted. They wanted it in private.
Sorry, sir. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yes.
The court order you mentioned, are you privy to it? Can you point us in the direction of where?
I have seen copies of it. I have seen copies of it.
Copies of it.
Yes.
We would like for you to share those copies with us.
Okay, yes. It was issued on 26th of September. While the order, I mean, it's even on public knowledge. You Google when the court order was issued and the court trials. But the document the NMA submitted to court was predates that date by some days. So I'm just trying to say that the NMA has in reality not complied with the court order. But then on a more serious issue is this: the defense counsels have severally sought to have a meeting with their client in private. The DSS has always said, come to our office, you will meet with him. But it's a different issue, because the DSS is a security agency. Definitely their offices will be bugged, and the lawyers want to meet with their clients where they are sure that their communication will be private. And the court has only ordered that private meeting between the defense counsel and Nnamdi Kanu inside the courtroom on a day before the date the court declares that defense must start their defense. Now, that means that the defense counsels have only one day to discuss with their client before being forced to commence a defense of their client on all these charges, very serious charges that can even lead to death sentence. On the face of it, it's nonsensical. It's injustice. It's an aberration of the justice process. And I don't know whether the judge, Mr. Motoshaw, went through all this process. You cannot say meet with your client one day, and you don't know if they'll finish their deliberations on that day. Then you order a 6-day trial. You already have okay, how many days was the prosecution allowed? How many days? How many years actually was the prosecution allowed to bring their case? And you are now compelling the defense. Why bother with giving them a time to defense? Why don't you give your ruling immediately? Because you already said 6 days. Meanwhile, the prosecution had how many months or years to present? And now you talk of a protest, rally, and all that stuff. Mr. Showore, yeah, he's a public, he likes publicity stunts and all that stuff. So this and the dates will give this gives more time for publicity and all that noise, arrest and meetings and all that stuff. But in reality, how does this advance the cause of justice in this matter? The same in Nigeria, there has been several instances where people awaiting trial have severally applied to court for leave to travel abroad for medical reasons. Even in instances when they just know it was a charade, it was a joke. Somebody's attending a party the day before and he comes to court in clutches and pretends, and the court grants him leave without asking the NMA to get involved to look at the matter and know whether it's worth giving medical permission to travel abroad. What is wrong with this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case? Is it because it's Igbo? Is it because it's talking about Biafra? The bottom line of it is this.
Or could it be because there is fear that he might jump bail again?
No, if the fear did not exist in other issues, I mean that can be curtailed. You can ask people to come and drop £1 billion each or whatever, and allow him to travel and go. There are always mechanisms, and if he jumps bail, then Nigeria has protocols with various countries across the world, the UK, the US. He jumps bail, he'll be brought back. So there is absolutely no reason why the courts have severally granted leave for suspects to travel abroad, and in this instance, you bring this novel, unheard of issue of NMA that is not even structured to undertake such. Well,
I think some doctors will take that.
See,
will take
what I'm trying to say in essence is this, and I've repeated this several times. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's trial is not a justice issue. It is not judicial. It is political. And the lawyers have allowed themselves to be roped into this mess, because it's actually a mess. For a very long time, the Nigerian system has proved that it is incapable or it's unwilling to look into the justice of this matter. And the lawyers have been advised, it's extraterritorial. There is the West African Court on Human Rights. There is the African Commission on Human Rights that can actually deliberate on these matters. Do not waste your time in a system that is rigged, that gives you 6 days. The 6 days to do whatsoever.
All right.
How many? Because there must be equity. You see, when you look at the sign of justice, the sign of justice is that there is like a measurement scale, and it's balanced. If it is not balanced, as in this case, for goodness sake, how many days was the prosecution allowed, and how many days are you giving to Nnnamdi Kanu? This is a travesty. This is a charade, and then they can, if you want to shoot, go ahead and shoot the man, because he's evil. That's the bottom line. And the Omotosho cannot claim, the justice cannot claim that she's being just in this case. Because if she was being just, then she wouldn't be getting into the pit she's getting into. And unfortunately, many of our judicial officers, many of our justices, even to the apex courts, have severally shown bias that is shocking, bias that makes even students wanting to read law wonder whether in Nigeria do we have law that needs to be read. And it is the pronouncements, the mannerisms, the behaviors, the judgments of some of these courts that lead to this kind of unfortunate scenario. You don't give 6 days to do a defense when you didn't give 6 days to the prosecution to prosecute. You don't allow just 1 day for the lawyers to meet in private with their clients. When for all these several 4 years plus, he has been in the custody of the same people who are prosecuting him. He even needs time to be out of their system to understand himself and be in a state where he can converse with his lawyers. 1 day is certainly not enough. So I don't see anything happening from this trial.
This powerful heater can heat up any room